now on exactly what happened and how to prevent it. We're joined now by Dan Cohen. He is an associate professor of civil and environmental engineering at Rice University and an energy grid expert. Professor Cohen, Daniel, thank you very much for coming on. I'm actually headed out to Houston tomorrow to do some on-the-ground reporting, but from your perch and what I've seen and read, it looks like it was sort of not only just a, quote, perfect storm, but a colossal breakdown on almost every single level at the same time.
It was a colossal breakdown. It was failures in ways that we can't have our systems fail. And it was a perfect storm. It was about as strong as storms that we get every 20 or 30 years on average. So it was a very strong storm, but not unprecedented and not anything beyond the sort of storms that we should be preparing for in the future.
Yeah, it happened in 2011. People screamed, we need change. It happened in 1989. People screamed, we need change. Reports were made. Strongly worded letters were issued. Daniel, I'm sure nothing got done. Okay, it's a deregulated market. It's why people love it. And every 10 years, they hate it. What's the solution here? Is it to better regulate this market?
There is no one solution. I mean, this was a catastrophic failure on so many levels. This was an energy systems failure. This was a market failure, a regulatory failure. As an engineering professor, I look at this as a energy systems failure. I focus on that side of things. And to me, it's important that we realize that this can't be addressed within the electricity system alone, that this was really a matter of the mutual vulnerabilities of our gas system and our electricity system to each other.
And, you know, again, unfortunately, Daniel, like everything becomes politicized. My side, your side, wind versus fossil. Okay, natural gas was the biggest failure because it's the biggest out there. Pipes literally froze. But wind turbines condensed with fog, they shut down. Coal plants, the water froze for the lakes to freeze. Even a nuclear plant shut down. Is there a way to winterize this? And if so, at what would be the ultimate cost, do you think?
Absolutely. Every single piece of our electricity supply gave us less output at the same time, all at once, right at the same time that demand would have been at a record high for our winters if it hadn't been forced down by these blackouts. So every piece could have been carrying a bigger part of the load. We could be doing more with efficiency to reduce that demand. But by far the biggest piece, the piece that overwhelmed every other piece of the story is the way that the gas systems and the gas electricity wasn't there when we needed it.
Yeah, and as far as, and Daniel, when I look at what you've talked about and some of the comments that you've made and what I've read, and I know there's a huge push for renewables, and that's great. By the way, Texas leads the country in wind. It's the biggest wind, as my late friend Boone Pickens said, the Saudi Arabia of wind in many ways. But do you think this is going to increase natural gas production long term? Because to your point, commercial and residential use are very different here.
Yeah, if we use this as a reason to stop building wind and stop adding solar, and solar is growing so fast on the grid, we'll be really shooting ourselves in the foot, because those are what I call fuel-saving renewables. Those are fuels that aren't meant to get us through the very coldest hour of the winter, but they save fuel, they save cost, they save emissions all year round so that the gas can be there at the times we need it most. That was expected to be our firm resource. So I think there are great questions to be asked. Should wind farms be better winterized? Is that the right investment to make? Absolutely, that a nuclear unit went down, but it wasn't prepared for freezing water. Absolutely a problem there, that the coal plants weren't able to produce when we needed them the most. It's across each aspect of the system, but I think it's possible to learn the wrong lessons from this.
Well, hopefully some lessons will be learned. I'm going to try to figure it out as well with your help and others. Daniel Cohen of Rice University.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.